Welcome to LiveLook's webinar, Co-Browsing and Screen Sharing for Sales, where we'll take a look at these technologies as they apply in a sales setting. So we hope you are all able to launch both the audio and the video components, the visual components of the webinar. And again, I just wanted to point out that you should see a slider on the left side of your screen that will allow you to zoom in and zoom out in order to customize the view of the presentation based on your screen size and resolution. So I would like to introduce our speaker today. His name is Mike Palumbo, and he is LiveLook's Sales Director. Mike has been with LiveLook for about a year now and has spent his career bringing innovative collaboration technologies to enterprise companies. So he's got a wealth of experience working with sales and service call centers, helping them evaluate solutions that help them operate more efficiently and serve customers more effectively. So I will go ahead and turn it over to Mike now.
Okay, Michelle, thank you. And good morning or good afternoon to everyone on the call. The first thing I want to do is just kind of do a little stage setting for how LiveLook considers co-browsing and screen sharing, or how we differentiate between the two. And if you think about it from the agent's perspective, co-browsing is when your customer is sharing their screen with you. Screen sharing is when you, as an agent, are sharing your screen with the customer you want to present to your customer. So the rest of today's presentation is going to be primarily about co-browsing, but we're also going to touch on screen sharing as well. So I just wanted to give you a little definition up front. Co-browsing is when the agent is looking at the customer screen, and we call screen sharing when the agent is presenting out to their customer. One of the quotes that we reference when we're talking about collaboration, whether it be co-browsing or screen sharing, is a Frost and Sullivan report where they express that one of the strongest ways to improve the customer experience is to enable collaboration and tools such as web co-browsing. If any of you have ever had a support technician, for example, remotely access your PC or laptop to help resolve an issue, you've experienced a collaboration. You've experienced an example where an agent has helped you by being able to see what you were seeing. So I'm sure everyone has had that kind of an experience. So when you read a quote like this from Frost and Sullivan, it's not very surprising. And what we want to do at LiveLook is to bring a very simple, light co-browsing web collaboration to a sales environment, whether it be a call center environment with telecenter agents, or whether it be perhaps somebody who's doing some outbound cold calling. So collaboration, I'm sure you all understand, makes for a great customer experience. A little bit about LiveLook and who we are. We have some patented screen sharing technology which enables us to create that co-browse, create that collaboration without the need of a download, which is very important in today's secure, conscious environment. People are concerned about downloading software that they're uncomfortable with. Our tool has no download. Our tool is also universally compatible. It works with all the major operating systems and all the major browsers, so that your customers are not going to have difficulty connecting to an agent because we have universal compatibility. And lastly, we have a very robust set of security features so that you can control what your agents see and what your agents can do while they're in that collaboration session with your customer. A few of our customers are noted here. By all means, this is not a complete list of our customers, but these are some of our customers who are using co-browse in a sales type environment. whether they are selling a product, selling some software, or whether they are enrolling customers. These are the kinds of customers that we are doing business with today that are using CoBrowse to help them generate more enrollments, more sales, more revenues. I want to give you an example of CoBrowse, basically the user experience, and show you how simple it is. CoBrowse starts with what we call a launch point. LiveLook provides some Java code script to your IT organization that manages your web, and that launch point gets placed on your website so that the customer can initiate a CoBrowse session. This is an example with Nike, and their CoBrowse icon are two arrows pointing in reverse directions. And if a customer were to select that launch point, click on that launch point, it would generate a CoBrowse session. But I also wanted to share how other companies are representing a launch point. Some customers call it Live Help. Some customers do it embedded within a chat environment. Other customers will put a tab at the side of every one of their web pages so that a customer could launch CoBrowse from any site within their web domain. Or some just use the LiveLook logo, which is the two orange arrows pointing towards each other. Whatever the launch point looks like, or the nomenclature that's around that launch point, is done to help your customer understand this is a place where they can launch CoBrowse. And once they launch CoBrowse, this is what we call an engagement window, or customer engagement window. This is where there would be some configured messaging related to your sales operations, and then your end user would be asked to click Start. Once they click Start, they'll be given an access code. So LiveLook will provide that access code, and then the end user, the customer, is asked to give that code to an agent. Your agent would open up the LiveLook console, enter in that access code, and our software as a service will then take place, and the agent will be able to see the consumer's site. So from a consumer perspective, it's 2 clicks. Click on the launch point, and then click to start by generating, and then they generate the access code. So 2 clicks for the consumer. And from an agent perspective, it's also 2 clicks. One to open up their console, and the second one to enter the access code. And then our software runs in that browser, and the agent is able to see the customer screen. Now this image here, I'm going to just, since I noticed it, you'll notice around the agent's browser window, you'll see gray area, whereas on the consumer side, you see the full desktop. This is an example where a customer has chosen, Nike in this example, to only enable the agents to see within the browser. Anything outside of the browser is not visible from this agent. And that's one of the security features that we have configurable within the solution. And we'll talk a little bit more of that later. This is an example of our screen sharing. An agent would go to a web domain. Here, one of our customers is the Yell organization. The Yellow Book may be referenced here in the United States. And the agent would click Show Your Screen. They would generate an access code. The customer would click on See a Screen, enter in that access code, and then again, screen sharing takes place. No downloads necessary. The prospect, in this case, will see exactly what the agent wants them to see. And in this case, it might be a presentation on Yell's services. So these are the 2 user experiences one for co-browse, and one for screen sharing. As you can see, both are very easy and simple to use. But the purpose of today's call, now that you've seen what co-browse and Presenter, our screen sharing tool, looks like, is what is the value for the sales organization? How do you use these tools to generate more sales? Every company invests time and resources to build a website, and you're driving traffic to that site. You may want your customers to go to your site for support. You may want them to go to your site for general information, but you primarily want them to go to your site to purchase, to shop, look for the product that they're interested in, and complete that through the checkout process. Unfortunately, not everybody that goes to your website is making a purchase. Perhaps they can't find the product that they want, although the product is there. Perhaps the website isn't designed very efficiently, and the customer gets confused or they're uncomfortable purchasing. So what we are trying to do with our co-browse solution is to prevent what we call abandonment. A customer goes to your website, they have an interest, they've seeked you out, they found you, but somewhere between finding you and getting to your website and checking out with the purchase, the process falls apart. So we recommend that co-browse is used at key decision-making points on your website. For example, one of our customers that was offering vehicles, automobiles, they placed a co-browse launch point at every stage of the experience. Purchasing a vehicle, purchasing features, financing for that vehicle. And at every stage in the process, made it available so that if the customer felt uncomfortable or needed a little bit more help, they could automatically start a co-browse session from wherever they were in that purchase experience. This is a way for you to provide what we call a white glove service to high-value customers. Again, it's the way for collaboration to take place, for your expert, your sales expert, to help the customer find what they're looking for and get through the process. So we believe co-browse is going to increase your e-commerce conversion rates by enabling your customer to get help at any point in that decision-making process. Another advantage of co-browse is what we call cross-sell and upsell. Now that you've engaged that customer, a customer has decided, I need a little bit of help. So now they're co-browsing with your agent. And whether they're co-browsing through chat or whether they're co-browsing through a person-to-person phone call, now it gives your agent the ability to increase the average order size by using their assisted selling techniques to cross-sell. So if they're on a apparel site, the agent may help them decide what else they could purchase to go along with what they initially were interested in buying. Or if it's a telecom site where you're buying a mobile phone, then you now can upsell on text messaging and data plans. So this is an opportunity now that you've made the connection with that customer to take advantage of the sales techniques of an agent to upsell and cross-sell. Basically take the average size of your sale and increase it, because now you can make recommendations to your customer for any new or complementary products to what they may have already been purchasing. We also believe that co-browse is going to enhance the online shopping experience. Research tells us that more and more people are going online to shop. Maybe not all of them are going online to purchase, Maybe they're going just to do some research. But here is an opportunity for you to enhance that customer shopping experience, whereas co-browse almost creates an instant concierge service, the ability to create a one-to-one relationship between the customer and your agent. And that's when your agent can differentiate the level and service of and the innovation of your website to that customer. And by creating that unique experience, you're going to drive some loyalty and create customer confidence in your brand and in your website and in your company. So again, co-browse is going to help you close that sale. It's going to help you grow that sale, and it's going to help create a tremendous customer experience and with a lot of brand loyalty that goes with it. An advantage of co-browse, in addition to the selling component with your end users, is that it could also be used between your company and your vendors. We've had customers use co-browse to create an efficient way to support their vendors in their supplier portals. An example is one of our customers was changing their vendor system, and they wanted all of their vendors to be able to interact in an online manner with the retailer. By enabling co-browse, whenever a vendor had an issue or didn't understand the new system, they were able to click on co-browse, speak to an agent, and the agent would walk them through how they need to use that supplier portal. So again, co-browse can be used not only for a sales environment, but you can also use it for some back-end collaboration to help your vendors. This is a quote that we received from one of our customers at a Container Store, and this was the example I was just referring to, where this tool allowed the agents to view the vendor screen while working on the vendor portal. It just created a great way to make a seamless or an easier transition for the vendors when you're changing a vendor portal. This also, when you think about your own website, as you have major updates to your website, if you change the look and feel of your website from a sales perspective, sometimes repeat customers may not remember where to go. And that might be another reason to have co-browse in a sales environment, so that you can encourage customers to co-browse, and then your agent can help educate the end user how the website has changed and where they need to go to purchase. I'm going to take a shift here and speak a little bit about screen sharing for what we call ad hoc presentations. There are situations in today's day and age where in a sales environment you might be speaking to a customer, perhaps an outbound call center, and it would be very easy to close that sale, or easier to close that sale, if I could only visualize for my customer what I want them to see. So if your customer is on a computer while you're speaking to them, you could use our screen sharing tool to create an ad hoc collaboration session. Two of our customers are using this today in a very effective manner. The Yell Group, they offer online advertising space. And what they like to do is, once they get the customer on the line, is to say, if I could show you how your ads are going to look, I think it'll be better understood and why you want to do business with Yell. And then they drive the customer to that website that I showed earlier. The customer can then see the agent screen. And now they're not only speaking, but the customer can actually see what the agent is referring to. So we like to do this in an ad hoc manner, because many of our customers don't want to use some of the existing collaboration tools out there where there's a download involved. because our solution has no download, you don't have to spend 10 or 15 minutes having your prospect download and just log in. It ruins the entire sales experience. You want to have a no-download solution, very fast and efficient, so that the customer is seeing the agent screen, within 10 or 15 seconds. So I'm going to just repeat, some of the advantages of the live look solutions. The first is what we call ease of use. No downloads, as I just described. You don't have to worry about end users that have to have a virus protection software, may not be able to download. So since our solution has no downloads, it eliminates one of the barriers to collaboration. You want to have universal compatibility. You want all of your customers to be able to co-browse. You don't want it only for PCs and not for Macs. You don't want to have it only for Internet Explorer but not for Firefox. You want to have your solution work across all of the major operating systems and all of the major browsers. And lastly, an instant connection. It needs to be quick. It needs to be fast. If you have to spend 2 minutes to create a connection, you've lost the momentum of that sales call. So when you're considering co-browse solutions, I would say these are the three that you have to have just to get to the table. If a company can't provide these three, you have to kind of look twice about, is that the solution that I want? Privacy and security. I mentioned this earlier in the conversation. Many customers are concerned about their agents seeing too much of an end user's information. So you have the ability to control what the agent can see. And many of our customers not only will limit the agent's view to the browser, but they will limit to that company's specific web domain. There's no reason for your agent to follow your customer if your customer leaves your website. By controlling what the agent sees, you can limit the co-browse session to just your website, your domain. But because it is a sales environment, there is payment involved, whether it be checking information, credit card information. LiveLook has the ability to block certain fields that are pre-identified from the agent's view. So while the customer is filling out the payment information on your website, the agent won't be able to see the numbers on that credit card in this example. They'll know that the customer is typing it in, but they won't see those numbers. And in a sales environment, you want your agents to stay on the phone through the checkout process. You don't want to give the customer the opportunity to hang up with your agent and then abandon the website nevertheless. So because we have this ability to control what the agent can see, it'll encourage your agent to stay on the line with the customer through the entire checkout process. And then we also have the ability to restrict what that agent can do. You can give your agent what we call view-only capability. So all they can do is see what your customer sees. You could give your agent navigation capabilities. So whereas they can see and use their mouse as a pointer, but they can't click on anything or they can't fill in information. So it's very configurable what you want to give, the features and capabilities you want to give your agents. And we also are, obviously, we need to make this easy to deploy. Our solution is an overlay to whatever channels you have today, for example, chat or voice channels. There is absolutely no reason to redesign your website to add co-browse. All we do is we provide to you the launch point code, and then your IT department enters that launch point information on all the applicable pages on your website. Some of our customers just put it at the bottom of every page in the footer. This way it's easy for the customer to be directed, go down to the bottom, and click on co-browse. And it's fast agent provisioning because it's all web-based. You don't have to download special software on the agent's machines or on your company servers. And agent training is very easy. Most of our training is less than an hour, and most of it is not how do I co-browse, but most of the training is centered on what do I do now that I have this capability? How do I cross-sell? How do I upsell? How do I direct the customer where I need them to go? So it's more methods and procedures training than it is how do I use co-browse as a tool. So that's a very fast description of co-browse and screen sharing from the live look approach. Talked a little bit about why from a sales environment this could be valuable to you.